putting specialists in each area that's available to them. So they're gonna have a full-time personal marketing consultant, a home preparation specialist who's gonna give them room by room advice on exactly what to do to prepare their property. So if you ever look at my listings and you say, wow, Shawn's got a really great, beautiful listing here.
I'm sitting here today with Shawn Hartmann. He is a team leader in actually you're kind of based out of two offices. You have a presence in our Crocus Hill office and also our Shoreview office.
That's correct.
And Shawn, you've been with RE/MAX Results for almost 10 years. And so I'm here to kind of pick your brain and see what makes you tick.
Okay.
And
Sounds good to me.
Tell me a little bit backstory about where did you grow up?
I grew up in St. Paul.
Okay.
And so I'm sure you're pretty familiar with St. Paul yourself. But yeah.
You're in the Como neighborhood right now. Is that where you grew up, or you're?
I actually live in Roseville, but right near Como, yeah.
Okay.
I went to Como Park High School, so.
Roseville, me too. Okay. Okay, and where did you go to college?
I did, yeah.
Okay.
Yep, University of Minnesota.
Okay.
And I was on the St. Paul campus, so fittingly, I mean, back and forth, obviously, between St. Paul and Minneapolis. But
what were you studying?
Biology and chemistry.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
and
so really fascinating.
Did you work in that field at all, or how did you end up in real estate?
So out of college, I did business-to-business sales, and I really wanted to use or find a career that would work with sales and biology and a little bit of chemistry. And it was, there are jobs out there, but none of them were super exciting. But I worked with a protein manufacturing company, and managed transactions and did customer service and sales and logistics with business to business. We sell protein to the whey proteins to the protein.
Okay.
Mostly to the bodybuilding industry.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
Did you know someone in real estate? How did you get into real estate?
A friend of mine, Shawn Corby, actually, a friend of mine was in real estate.
Yeah, Shawn's a great guy.
Yeah, so Shawn was in real estate, and he still is. He's a great guy. He knows, he's a great real estate agent. Yeah. And so he mentioned to me, he's like, hey, I'm having a really good success here selling properties, and he showed me what he was doing, and it's something I've always wanted to do. Because as a kid growing up in St. Paul, I always remembered being fascinated by the real estate signs and wanting to know the values of the properties. And me and my friends would actually go into the open houses on Sundays and things like that. So
when you probably shouldn't have, you were 14,
And the real estate agents were nice enough to us, and they didn't mind, but we were looking to waste time back in the 80s, and so that's what we did.
Okay.
Yeah.
I forgot to ask you, what was your first job? How old were you?
Well, the minute I turned 14 and I was able to have a job, I started working at Burger King.
So did I. So did I. So
You're kidding.
How long did that last?
Probably until I was old enough to get my next job at 16 at Ciati's.
So Burger King. Okay, so share your first day on the job and I'll share mine.
Well, I don't really remember. I'm pretty sure I probably spilled something or broke something, because when I first started, I wasn't real good in the restaurant industry, but I somehow survived. Don't really remember my first day specifically, but I'd love to hear about.
My first day on the job was at Burger King, and it was on Rice Street in Little Canada, Roseville. It's not even there anymore, but it's near where you grew up also, and so maybe we worked at the same Burger King. And they stuck you on, you're just slapping patties on the broiler.
On the conveyor belt.
You're standing over this flame, it's miserable, and that's all you're doing. So
just putting the patties through, frozen
until,
patties, and then they come out and they're nice and...
It was about a week later where my favorite was working the drive-thru. So anytime I could talk to people and
collect the money and do the exchange and the food,
Yeah, when you're 14, that was pretty cool, so...
Yes, I went through all those levels at Burger King, worked my way up to drive-thru.
Comes full circle, yeah. So are any of your kids, they're not 14 yet, though?
One is 14, she wants a job, because she wants to make money and start earning some money, but she's too busy with her stuff.
Her stuff, yeah.
Very busy.
Okay,
yeah,
that's a funny story. So I don't know how we can segue Burger King to real estate, but we'll try and figure that out during this interview. So, Shawn introduced you into real estate. I introduced you into RE/MAX Results.
Absolutely.
And you brought over a team. You've been growing your team. Talk a little bit about how many people are on your team structure.
Okay, sure. So right now, currently, there are 7 of us. So it's 4 agents, me and 3 others. So I still love selling real estate myself.
Yep.
Then we have 3 staff. So that's going to be transaction manager / office manager Danielle.
Yep.
Visual communications, that's Deb, so that's the marketing department, and Sharon Brown, who's our home preparation specialist, so stager.
Yeah.
So
okay.
those 3, it's a really nice product. My staff has all been with me, each one of them for over 10 years, more like 15 on average.
Yeah.
So we pretty well-oiled machine. It works really well together. Kind of, we're in sync on all this stuff. So.
And you know, over the years, you really do, you've brought aboard newly licensed people to your team, although that might, I mean, if you're ever looking to grow, do you prefer seasoned or newly licensed so you can train them the way you want them to be trained, or do you have a preference as far as team members?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So we rarely hire. And I like being small.
You're selective.
I'm selective, and I'm selective in the sense, and it's just strange, I hire people who I feel I like and I can work with.
That's important.
It's because I want my customers our product that we offer, I want it to be pretty much consistent across the board. I don't necessarily want to have agents that are a lot different than me and how I want to run the team, if that makes sense. So I end up going with people who I just kind of get a good feel for, and we hire. But it's somewhat rare, in terms of maybe 1 every 2 years or 3 years that I'd hire an agent. Yeah. No, that's every now and then I might introduce someone and you do.
To you and say, hey, this might be someone, just because I like to mesh personalities with different team leaders and who I think will get along well with.
And I always appreciate that, because I enjoy the conversations I have with the people introduced to me, and sometimes whether they're a good fit for the team or not, I think everybody benefits from the conversation, and we can leave with additional ideas. And
absolutely,
So keep doing it, please.
So you consistently perform at a chairman and above level. Your team tighten and above, and very consistently for years. Is there someone you'd like to give thanks to? Who helped you get there? Was it a coach? Was it a training program? There anyone? Was it just your daily grind?
I think
you're a visual marketing specialist. That's your wife, Deb.
All important things.
Yeah.
Years ago, we started. So we started doing geographic farming, and very consistent with my marketing inside of our area. So it's really important to me that within the neighborhoods that we work in, to be very familiar with the properties, to be a resource for the community, for people that are thinking of selling or wanting market valuations, or people that want to move into the areas that we work in. So we do have a geographic farm.
How much do you spend a month on that?
On the farm?
On geographic farming, yeah.
It can be in between $1,000 and $2,000 depending upon the month.
Okay. And that's probably your biggest spend or your biggest marketing spoke.
That's
if you want to call it that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Good for you. So for brand awareness, you're targeting an area where you know. Do you also do geographic farming around like where you have listings, or does it vary? Is it?
No, it's not per listing. It's mostly just in the same location all the time.
Let's talk a little bit about what is geographic farming.
Yeah. So we've been doing this for about 13 years.
Okay.
It's mostly. Every once in a while we'll have community events, but for the most part it is postcard marketing.
Yep.
Which generates response from consumers who are looking for home valuations primarily, and they know, they see our signs in the neighborhood, and then they see the postcards, and for the people that want to work with the area specialist, those are the people that typically contact us. They're wanting to work with an agent that's in the area. They're wanting to work with someone who's sold, a lot of homes in the area, and so.
Would you say you've been doing it 13 years, so consistency is the key?
Consistency is the key.
Like monthly mailers?
Yeah, we use the Every Door Direct.
Oh, yep. Okay.
And then it goes out on a schedule.
Yep.
So, so if there's we order in bulk for the whole year, and then we divvy it up into sections or, distribution sections. Because I don't want to send them all out at once and have too many people contact me once. We want to have a steady flow. So we divide the neighborhoods and the zip codes up and then send them out to portions and rotate it.
Okay. That's smart. Yeah. Good
And
for you.
it's not super expensive. It's good marketing. There's consistent brand awareness, and I think people know who we are.
Did you ever? I've seen over the years like the ebbs and flow of direct mail marketing. And did you ever, at a time, shift more of your marketing budget to Zillow, for example, or do you spend anything online, or is it? I've seen direct mail making a comeback the last couple of years.
Yeah, so Zillow obviously. It also goes in cycles up and down. I've been a Zillow Premier agent since 2008, and we do have a Zillow account. It's a smaller spend than probably most agents would use, but it's not insignificant, and that typically generates buyer consumer, people that are looking to purchase homes. Yeah. So that's our arm for, I guess, finding home buyers, new home buyer customers that way, and our arm for finding new home seller customers is typically through the direct mail. Yeah, okay. And that's the combination of the two is what we do. It's geographic based, so we're primarily in one, stay in our location. Okay. And the majority of our business is past customers and past clients referrals, some social media, which is just through my own personal page and nothing major. Did
your business feel a pinch in 2022? Like a lot
2022. Believe it or not, our 2022 numbers were better than 2021 numbers.
Good for you. Yeah.
And sometimes that's just the way the ball bounces.
Did you do anything differently?
No.
We come off of this pandemic boom of 2020, 21, and now things took a dip. The market, Minneapolis Area Association of Realtors, was down almost 20%. But you were up. Good for you.
Our volume was up. Units were pretty close to the same.
Okay.
And we really, at that point, hadn't made any changes to what we're doing. So this year, I think we understand that we're probably going to have to put a little additional effort into it because there's going to be fewer units, probably lower price points, and so we want to stay where we normally are with our production.
You've been consistent through it all though, so you're doing something right. What's something that you would like prospective clients to know about the services? You have a robust team. Talk a little bit about not every team has a visual marketing department or a visual marketing specialist. So what do you do for your specifically listings?
Yeah, so for me, I'm very fortunate. I honestly feel that we have, nothing against any other real estate agents or what they're doing, but I feel my team, I really feel like we have the best quality product in the industry because of the staff that I have. If you think about it, with our team, what we've done is we've taken, for the consumers, mostly for sellers, and putting specialists in each area that's available to them. So they're going to have a full-time personal marketing consultant, a home preparation specialist who's going to give them room-by-room advice on exactly what to do to prepare their property. So if you ever look at my listings and you say, wow, Shawn's got a really great, beautiful listing here.
You do this for all, regardless of the price point, it's a core service.
All price points, yep. And we customize the marketing plan per the property. That's an area that Deb specializes in.
Yep.
And of course we have access to however we want to market the property, whether that be maybe certain property needs a drone photography, or some need the evening shots, or they're doing specialized virtual tours and things like that. Other properties may not need that, and that's okay. We come up with a custom plan for each property.
Before we turned on the camera and started, we were talking off camera, and I was poking fun at you for not being prepared.
Right.
But you actually are. You say you don't. But you're very put together. You're very prepared. You have systems. You know what I mean. Like when you go in for consultations with potential clients, do you do a lot of preparation? What does that entail? And what's your average success rate in those appointments?
Okay.
Do you know?
I no longer track my success rate. At one point, it was over 90%. Just about everybody that would meet with us would hire us.
Great.
I don't know that that's the case anymore. It still could be probably better than average, I'm guessing. What's really important and what works real well for not just me, but also my agents is the preparation that we do on the front end is making sure that we're asking the right questions of the sellers before we meet with them. So I actually use a pre-meeting survey.
Yep.
Where they answer questions, and that way while I'm there,
Yep.
we can deep dive into these sections of the questions that we're the things that they've answered.
So you're better prepared, but even before even going in.
Very prepared. I intentionally do not do a lot of research on their property before I get there, and the reason being is I don't want to come in there with a preconceived idea of anything about the property in terms of the value or where they should be with it. I don't do market analysis on the spot. It's always a second meeting for market analysis.
Okay.
I want to make sure that we're consistent with the quality that we put out there. I don't want to be the agent that comes in and just grabs numbers out of the sky. Mm-hmm. And when I talk to the consumers, the sellers, they'll let me know how, kind of the range that these other realtors come up with, and it's pretty scary actually. So I think it takes a little extra time after you see the property to go back and then do your research without any ideas coming into it. So pricing is really important. Obviously, it's going to be more important in the market coming up. Mm-hmm. I was around selling real estate during 2007, 8, 9, 10 when the market was in free fall, and so pricing was a very critical part of selling a property, and pricing your property at the wrong price can cost, as the seller, can cost you a lot of money by making mistakes with pricing. So I like to be very accurate with that, and there's ways of doing that. You'll see me at the office doing market analysis live for people, and I've got about a dozen screens up and going through all sorts of data. I'm not trying to overdo it, but I want to make sure that we're looking at everything so we're in the right spot with the market pricing, and Do you do a lot of that market analysis? You're doing it with them rather than doing it and presenting it to them. You're like really engaging with them, getting their feedback while you're pulling the comps, while you're 100%.
Excellent.
Yeah. So I always have a price range that I'm going to recommend at the end of this, but I want their input, and ultimately it's going to be their decision on where they price the property. Whether it may be in my range, most of the time it is, sometimes it's not. And we go, one way or another. But I want to make sure I have all the data and we've considered everything before we give an estimate. It's really easy just to pull up. It's really easy to take shortcuts and not provide people with the right information, because you could just go to RPR and say, well, it says, here's what it says. Or, try to avoid, I won't do it. So there's no point. If they want a computer generated price, they can go to Zillow.
Yep.
Or there's many places they can go to, but we don't do that.
Good for you. Is there something that you're not doing in your day-to-day business operations that you should be doing?
So recently this year, one of the agents on my team has challenged me to do one video per week because I challenged her last year to do it, and she did. So now I'm doing videos. I enjoy it. It's taking time. I'll use this as one of my videos probably just because hey, I'm going to be here anyhow. But I've been making some social media videos. I want to get better at it because I don't really like how they turn. I don't think anybody really likes how they turn out, right? I'm like, wow, this is terrible, but I'm going to hit the post button anyhow, and it probably is terrible, but maybe it's okay. I don't know. And so
all videos good or bad. It's all good.
You want to get it out
the
there.
Content,
and so that's one thing. I mean, just really having fun with the business. My agents, one of the things we're focused on is just let's go out there and have fun. This is, it's a serious business, but you're going to meet a lot of great people along the way, and you can have fun with them and help them navigate and figure out what their solutions are for, their purchasing or selling or whatever they're doing. And so, just going out there and have a lot of fun with it. And, consistency is a big thing, right? And I know that the seasons go up and down, and managing the team, just keeping my team engaged and ready to go when the times are right, and meeting with them and with my team back to that. It's important to me that I meet, each agent's different. So I don't have a cookie cutter system for them all to go into and assign them projects to do.
Kind of tailored per individual?
once I find out what their strengths are, and that takes time, once we figure out where their strengths are, then we can go ahead and build their business plan for them.
Okay.
And let them operate that and fund that and make sure that they're in their most productive zone.
Yeah.
And that's good for the consumers. It's good because they're doing what they want to do. It's also good for them. It's healthy. And so, as you know, agents on my team stay forever. We don't hire, we're not hiring, it's not a, you know.
You have long tenure with your teammates.
Long tenure, yep.
So you're doing something right. So that's good. What sort of advice do you have for new agents? Something that you learned along the way that maybe you would have done differently in your earlier years?
Well, you know, I've tried everything and made all the mistakes and had to figure it out on my own. And I was a brand new agent at one point as well. I guess always be willing to every day get up and do things, you know, related to your business, moving forward, taking steps, doing things even if it doesn't feel right, if you're nervous. If you're brand new at it, you know, chances are you're not gonna succeed on every opportunity that's in front of you from day one, but you will have your chances. You will eventually, if you stick with it and you get over, you know, I think the hardest sale to make is obviously probably your first sale for most people. Mm-hmm. And then as you get going, it gets easier. Mm-hmm. But, you know, my advice is to, you know, figure out what, of all the prospecting types and all the ways you can generate business, figure out what you actually like doing, mm-hmm. and then do it and do it very consistently. Stick with it. Just keep doing it over and over. For example, with the farming, if I were to farm once or for 1 year and give up, there'd be no results on it.
Consistency, yeah.
And year by year, it's just, you know, and same with open houses. If you're going to do open houses or whatever it is that you decide to do them all the time, mm-hmm. you know.
What do you do outside of real estate? Your kids, your family, they keep you busy?
Busy with the girls. They're active in sports and mm-hmm. very busy schedules, training with what they do. So I am, you know, pro bono work at Uber. I drive them around for free. It's
yes.
So I'm actually I could easily be an expert Uber driver because I know where all the practice facilities are around the Twin Cities and all the game spots. Aside from that, you know, I like to go fishing and hang out with the guys and, you know, kind of.
You gotta have that outlet.
Got that outlet.
Absolutely.
You know, watch the football games and hang out with the guys and that type of stuff.
Yeah.
So that's always fun. That's my getaway, my release. And I enjoy the business. Yeah. So I like listing appointments. I like meeting people.
Yep.
So it's all, to me, everything's great.
Do you have any big goals for maybe this year, the next 5 years or so? What are some goals you'd like to share?
In terms of business goals?
Yeah. And personal.
Yep. You know, with the market adjusting, my goal is to outperform last year's numbers. It could be just break even or even a little better. We don't want to go backward in the market. I know that's going to be tough for mm-hmm. some agents. So with that, so it's not a lofty goal. So let's just kind of stay consistent, keep doing what we're doing. Times are going to change. It's going to take longer for homes to sell. Buyers may look at more properties, et cetera. So
it's actually a normal market.
It's going to be a normal market, which we really enjoy.
It's a normal market now.
I'm actually thankful for the normal market, but it could, you know, depend upon where it goes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, yeah, I don't, the answer is no, nothing beyond what I'm doing in terms of goals.
Yeah.
But, we stay consistent with that. And so the goals are almost the same every year is what I'm telling you.
Yeah. Good for you. Good for you.
So we don't want to be the biggest, you know, we're not looking at being, that's not what we want to stay small and stay within our zone. You know, for what the type of real estate we do, I don't need more agents. I really don't need a lot of agents to do that. Mm-hmm. But my agents, you know, production-wise, I mean, on average, versus the Twin Cities numbers, probably do about 5 times what a normal real estate agent would do.
Mm-hmm. Is there a coach or mentor or someone that you'd really give thanks to, or maybe it's Shawn Corby? You know?
Oh, Shawn.
Oh, Shawn.
Yeah, Shawn's a great guy.
We'll have to make sure he listens to this episode.
I'll definitely give Shawn some credit, put him on the list. I wouldn't necessarily say he's a coach of mine. Yeah. Is he inspirational? Sure, I like to watch him. He inspired you to get into it. This guy helped me get, you know, into the business.
Yeah.
So yeah, Shawn, and he's really, you know, him and I have done lots of brainstorming over the years. I mean, a lot of time and effort, and he's built out a great team, much larger than mine. Maybe he would like to come to Remax sometime. I don't know. Maybe he doesn't, but you know Shawn pretty well, I think. But so I could probably still learn things from him because he is a student of the game.
Yes.
And he's always studying and researching. And me, I kind of just...
You're an Uber driver. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm
kidding.
focusing on Uber right now.
Shawn is not an Uber driver.
I might be. Why not?
That's your backup plan. Yeah, that's what you're gonna do. Okay.
That's my backup plan right now. Plan B.
Thank you, Shawn. It's been almost, I can't believe it's almost been a decade, but it's been really fun.
Seems just recent.
Working with you, I know, just like that, I know. But thanks for coming on the show also. It's been great.
Well, hey, it's been my pleasure. I really, really appreciate you having me out.